Shalom, Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 125th Street in New York, under Commandant GEN.YAHANNA. I'm Priest Officer Yakar. This is Priest Officer Shah. Right, and today we are about to conduct this Sabbath service as ordained by the Most High. We're about to begin. So,
La Shalom to Israel.
Madian, when you have done, the resin is the east. So,
We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Shabbadas, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Abazaka, I.S.H.A, Arataza, Kawa, I.S.U.P.K, Bashamayim, the Son, Nanawa, Akam, Kal, Yawam, Basalak Noah, Awak Noah, Basalak Noah, Awakinoah, Wala'a, Tabia Noah, Basawun, Abal, Oshai Noah, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Otapara, Ailomium, Aman.
we're going to say in English, our Father,
Which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Thy
Kingdom come,
will be done. Thy will be done.
In earth,
In earth,
as it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day,
Give us this day
daily bread.
our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts,
And forgive our debts,
as we forgive our debtors.
as we forgive our debts.
Lead us not
And lead us
into
not
temptation,
into temptation.
deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
and the power,
and the power,
and the glory,
and the glory,
forever.
forever.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to say the Hakat, Yahweh, Basham, Oshai, Abukashab, Atanawa, Akat, Akwa, Amakala, Amadawun, Akat, Ata, Amatazarium, Akat, Akoyam, Amatayam, Akat, Ayakawat, Atamaala, the Garrison, Basham, Oshai, the Wadaman.
We don't see it in English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, please give us the power.
Please give us the power
to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
Power to cleanse the leper.
Power to cleanse the leper.
Power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
Power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. You want to say, bless Israel, Yahweh, Basham, Oshai, Barakanawa, Bashala, Abayat, Taparium, Barak, Rakapa, Magun, Agun, Basham, Oshai, Tawadaman.
We know say English is Lord.
Lord,
in the name of Yahushua,
in the name of Yahushua,
bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. Our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
So be it.
We can say Psalms 121. Ashaya, Ayanya, Al-Hariyam, Mayan, Yaba'a, Azariah, Mayam, Yahweh, Ashaya, Shamayam, Waratiza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Anna, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yasayan, Samawa, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Adiyai, Yamyapia, Yamawam, Ashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Warak, Bayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makairai, Yashamarwa, Adnashpakang, Yahweh, Yashama, Tazalka, Wabawaka, Maita, Waid, Iwalam.
In English now we sing Psalm 121. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
Whence cometh my help?
Whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord.
Whence cometh from the Lord?
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold.
He
that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Neither slumber nor sleep.
Without slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
Who shall shade upon thy right hand.
The Lord that shade upon thy right
The sun
hand.
shall not smite thee by day.
The Lord shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from evil.
The Lord shall preserve from evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going out.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
Even forevermore.
And even forevermore. We will say Psalm 33. Al-Hayam, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Tashakwash, Wa'al, Tashakwat, Al-Kaya, Anna, Awa, Yabaka, Yahamam, Yawan, Wa'ash, Al-Maka, Ra'al, Ya'irawa, Sawada, Wayata, Ya'aitazawa, Aitazabawanka, Amawa, Lakawa, Wakaadam, Magawa, Wala'a, Yasaka, Shamashala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawa, Aitazawa, Laba, Yakawada, Kadwa, Ayaka, Bariat, Yakar, Watwa, Alhaya, Aldawam, Wayashamai, Alhayam, Mababa, Wahagariam, Kabal, Aimawan, Aimalak, Pashakwat, Palashat, Sabia, Tazawa, Gamashawa, Lanawa, Ayam, Imam, Ayawa, Zawawai, Laban ya Lawat, Salah, Aishalah, Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya, Sarah, Kayabian, Banakal, Pashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayan, Adaira,
Oh, Bayan Daira.
Bayan Daira. Hayawa. Daman. La Damwa. Shaya Tamwa. Nada Yab. Mawab. Kairab. Wakazabak. Wakatazal. Manai. Kalnasa Yankamwa. Ashaya. Amarwa. Naya Rasha. Nanawa. At. Nawat. Alhayam. Alhayaya. Naya Tamwa. Gangala. Kakwash. Lapan Raawak. Rapaniarawaka. Kaish. Kaash. Tabayadaira. Tabayadaira. Wakalahaba. Talahat. Harayam. Kantaradaima. Padma. Basaraika. Wabasa. Wapadka. Tabahalam. Mala'a. Panyaham. Palawan. Waya. Bakwashwa. Shamka. Yahawa. Yabashwa. Waya. Bahalwa. Idiai. Waya. Karapamwa. Waya. Abadwa. Waya. Daiwa. Kaya. Ata. Samka. Yahawa. Labatka. Ayawan. Alkal. Aratiza.
We say something in three in English. Keep not thy silent, O God. And hold not thy peace. And be not still, O God. For lo, the enemies make us to mock. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel they be no more remembered. But they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab and Hagareen, and Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, and the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. Assyria is also joined with them. They are forward, the children of Lot, Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, and the brook of Kison, those perished at Endor, and they came as dung for the earth, made their nobles like Oreb, like Zeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Aluna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. Oh my God, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and the flames set in the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, the Most High, who are all you. Sir? Shabia needs to be seated. Slack it. Yeah, to what? Slack it. All right. We continue from the book of Exodus, chapter 39 and verse 19.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, shalom, yeah, shalom.
Yeah,
Shabbat.
Olha por esse.
No, la. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's not half high. I don't see that.
Almost in class. The book of Genesis, Salakia, book of Exodus, chapter 39 and verse 19. Where I shall walk, Shataya, Tabaaita, Sabbath, Wayashiyamawa, I, Shanya, Kwatazawa, Hakayash, I, Shapathwa, Ashar, Allah, Aiba, Ha'apad, Payata, verse 20. Waya Aishawa, Shataya, Tabaaita, Zahab, Waya Tanam, I, Shataya, Kata, Paf, Ha'apad, Malama, Taha, Mamawaf, Salakia Mamawaw, Panyawa, La Aima, Maka Barathawa, Mama Aila, La Kashab, Ha'apad, verse 21. Waya Rakasa, Ata, Hakashan, Mataba Ata, Yawa, Allah, Tabaaitha, Ha'apad, Bapath Yala, Masha, verse 22. Waya Aisha, Ata. Yeah, go on. Yeah. Yes, I'll wait for it. Yeah. No, I will. You keep it. Somebody song is on. Takalaf, Lahayah, Al, Kashab, Ha'apad, Wala'ar, Yazaka, Takasham, Ha'apad, Ka'ashar, Tazawa, Yahweh, Atta, Mesha, verse 22. Waya Aisha, Atta, Mayal, Ha'apad, Ma'aisha, Araga, Kalaya, Takal, Takalaf, verse 23. Wapaya, Hama'aila, Hama'ayal, Basawaka, Kapaya, Takara, Shapa, Lapayawa, Sabayab, La'a, Yakoraya, Salakia, Yakorai, verse 24. Wayasha, Aishawa, Al, Shalaya, Hama'ailaya, Hama'aya, Ramawanaya, Takala, Wa'aragaman, Wala'aitha, Shanaya, Mashaza, verse 25. Waya Aishawa, Fa'aima Naya, Zahab, Ta'awa, Wayatanawa, Atta, Hapa'ai Manayam, Bathwaka, Harama Nayam, Ai, Shawalaya, Hama'ai Yala, Sabayaba, Bathwaka, Haram Nayam.
Exodus chapter 39 and verse 19. And they made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate upon the borders of it, which was on the side of the ephod inwards. Verse 20. And they made 2 other golden rings and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath towards the front part of it, over against the other coupling thereof, above the curious girdle of the ephod. Verse 21. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings unto the ring of the ephod with a lace of blue, that it might be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loosened from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. Verse 22. And he made the rope of the ephod woven work, all of blue. Verse 23. And there was an hole in the midst of the rope of the verse 23. And there was an hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of an abagion with a band round about the hole, that it should not rend. Verse 24. And they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet and twin linen. Verse 25. And they made bells of pure gold and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hems of the robe, round about between the pomegranates.
So, I mean, once more we see in the design where the Most High is giving, specific instructions in the design of the robe. right? So this is just a continuation from the passages from last week, where you get an intricate description of what is going to be done on the garment that the high priest and the priest that who would serve in the temple would have on. I don't know if you had anything to say.
No, go to the.
All right, let's end Christ. So you continue reading the book of Exodus, chapter 39 and verse 26. Iman Waraman Iman Waraman Ar Shawalaya Hamaayala Sabayab Lasharat Kaasha Tazawa Yahweh Ata Masha, verse 27. Waya Aishawa Ata Hakatan Shasha Ma'aisha Araga Arag La Aran Wala Banyawa, verse 28. Wa Atha Ha Mataza Napaf Shasha Wa Atha Araya Hamaga Ba'aita Shasha Wa Atha Makanasaya Habad Shasha Mashaza, verse 29. Wa Atha Ha'aba Natha Salakia Ha Abanata Shasha Mashaza Wafkala Wa Ara Gaman Wata Wala Aita Shaniya Ma'aisha Rakwam Kaasha Tazawa Yahweh Ata Masha, verse 30. Waya Aishawa Ata Taza Naza Hakwadash Zahab Tahawo Wayakata Bawa Alayawa Makaba Pathwa Kaya Kawatam Kwadash Shalayawa Shalayahawa, verse 31. Waya Tanawa Ayawa Path Yala Takalat Lata Ta'ai Latata Ai Amataza Napaf Mala'aila Kaasha Tazawa Yahweh Ata Masha, verse 32. Wataka Aibada Mashakan Ahal Mawa'aida Waya Aishawa Banya Yasha'ala Kakal Asha Tazawa Yahweh Atta Masha Khan Aishawa. That's the question.
Khan. Exodus chapter 39 and verse 25. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe wrong about between the pomegranates. Verse 26. A bell and a pomegranate, wrong about hem of the room to minister in, as the Lord commanded Moses. Verse 27. And they made coats of fine linen of woven work for Aaron and for his sons. Verse 28. And a mitre of fine linen and a goodly bonnet of fine linen and linen breeches of fine twin linen. Verse 29. And a girdle of fine twinned linen and blue and purple and scarlet and needlework, as the Lord commanded Moses. Verse 30. And they made the plates of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing like to an engraving of a signet, holiness to the Most High. Verse 31. And they tied unto it a lace of blue to fasten it on the high upon the mitre, as the Lord commanded Moses. Verse 32. Thus was all the works of the tabernacles of the tent of the congregation finished, and the children of Israel did according to all that the Most High commanded Moses. So did they.
So once more, we've seen where the instructions again were given, and it was very specific. The trimmings, everything that was made was glorious, right? And in verse 30 said, and they made the plate the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it a writing like the engraving of a signet. So it was marked into this plate, which read holiness to the Lord, right? And they tied onto a lace of blue to fasten it on the high upon the mitre, right, as the Lord commanded Moses. So this was something that was put in on the mitre. And those who understand what a mitre is a wrap. It's not like what the Arabs have, right? Arabs, them that can cover the whole head. The mitre that we have, that is part of our culture, the center or the crown of your head is open, right? We are not supposed to cover our head in the presence of the Most High, especially when we pray or even reading the scriptures. Right, we're supposed to uncover our head, the crown of our head. So the mitre is wrapped around the sides of your head, right? And this plate was made to be fastened, right, as a crown upon the mitre as well, right? So Israel had bling, real bling, right? And this was just, the bare minimum to put on the priests that the Most High set up to govern and to help, bring rulership to the nation of Israel, and to see that, to do all these sacrifices at that time to the nation of Israel. See what I mean?
Yeah, and when you check right there, that's where, right, we say when you check them bills, right, the Most High set up when we go back from weeks and thing, right, you only talking and you only reading people when you say, boy, how long would I go finish read about how this tabernacle building, boy, and then after now we coming out to read again away. Look how long they're talking about the priests and them way and things. So one, the Most High making sure the place you're coming for get comfortable for you to come and praise him and get all the knowledge and thing. And then after now, you making sure the men and them who kind of the work they're in order, they're smelling good, they're looking good, everything in order. Not compare when they go in them buildings and them thing, and they're going to find out to cry about something. They're talking like dog and all kind of thing, and like hey, you nobody and thing, right? So what way is and thing now with the men and the Most High, the priests and the Most High and thing. They'll be there to take the time and explain everything to you, and they won't get vexed with what questions you have and things compared to when you go by these other structures and people just up nice and when they do now, they have a stink attitude towards you and again and why they do have the spirit of the Most High and thing. And this is how all the priests and the prophets the Most High cry about themselves, always willing to teach the Black, Hispanics and the Filipinos, and always in other spirit to lighten others. All the men, the young men and them. Hey, I'll write every class we do. They say, hey, if you want to be a trooper, they say, well, it's up to you being a priesthood and things. So when you see how they shoot, hey, I really want to I really wanted to be like how them men and them being teaching and teaching to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians and things, right?
It's like this. See, imagine. Next, please.
Makakobal, ban banyanyam, bani ashala.
Makakabal, ban banyanyan, ban yashala.
Yahweh Shimio Shibra Katam.
Yahweh Shimon Shaibatah. Exodus chapter 39 and continue from verse 33. That's it. The book of Exodus chapter 39, it's like a verse, chapter 39 and verse 33. Baya Ata Hamashakan Al Masha Ata Ha'arak Ahal Wa Ata Ka Kalayawa Kora Sayawa Kora Shayawa.
Yes, I'll give up this. Yeah, to what?
Maraya Kawa Wa I Madayawa Wa Adanayawa. Verse 34. Wa Ata Makasha Iwara Ha Ayala Hama'a Damayam Wa Ata Maka Saha Ira Ata Khashayam Wa Ata Baraka Hamasaka. Verse 35. Ata Arawan Ha'aida Wa Ata Badayawa Wa Ata Hakapara. Verse 36. Ata Ashalakan Ata Kalayawa Wa Ata Lakam Hapanayam. Verse 37. Ata Hamanara Hatahara Ata Naras Yaha Naraf Hamaira Raka Wa Ata Kalaya Wa Ata Shaman Hamaawa. Verse 38. Wa Ata Matazabak Azahal Wa Ata Shaman Hamashaka Wa Ata Quatara Hasamayam Wa Ata Masaka Pataka Ha'ahal. Verse 39. Ata Mazabah Hanaka Shaf Wa Ata Makaba Hana Khashaf Asha Lawa Ata Badayawa Wa Ata Kalaya Selake Kala Yawa Ata Akaya Wa Ata Kanawa.
The book of Exodus, chapter 39 and verse 33. And they brought the tabernacle of Moses, the tent, and all his furniture, his tachis, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and the coverings of ram skins dyed red, and the covering of badger skins, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, and the staves thereof, and the mercy seat. Verse 36, the tabernacle, Salakia, the table, and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the pure candlestick with the lamps thereof, even with lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light. Verse 38, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door. Verse 39, the brazen altar, and his grate of brass, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver, and his foot. I was up to verse 39.
So like once again, we see in the pure craftsmanship, right, of the men of Israel, right, or the entire nation of Israel, because the men and the women, had different roles in doing different things in the making, right, of the different things, different aspects for the tabernacle at that time. And we see here all the different implements, all the different things that needed, right, to bring the furniture and all the other stuff to make the tabernacle the way it's supposed to be. You understand? Was made and produced, and we can see, the very distinct how how valuable all these things in the temple was, because basically everything was overlaid with gold, silver, or some other precious metal or precious gem. You understand? So in today's comparison, we look at how sometimes the Catholic Church had all these very expensive this stained glass windows and all this kind of stuff, but those things can't even compare or come close to even what we had even when we had the tabernacle, much less when the temple was constructed. So this is a little snippet of what was put together even before when the temple was made. So I don't know if anybody would add anything.
About that, like Israel, we say like all the Most High designing all these things, and like sometimes feel like we in Trinidad here and things like about all the way say he's setting up all these things. Like if somebody didn't know, hey, that the Most High place where you have to go and congregate and gather and think, now we're gonna have idea now, but where is this? Now you're gonna have idea now, but I just find out what this place is about. It's something like if you know, it's something like the white the lighthouse and them, right? So if some people never see the lighthouse before, but they made them up in Port of Spain or which part is in Turco or something now, you like it now. With the unusual thing, what that is the lighthouse. Now you go and find out wait now, what that is for. I better say what I did them use them things to look out to see what ships coming in. So you see me now when you see how this structure, how the Most High place was like, hey, nah. Where this place? I know I get to find out that the Most High place for the children of Israel for you to come and gather, you be righteous and come and meet righteous men and continue to come in and bringing in your people and things rather than right. So his son and his son. So there's a place you should be always willing to go and praise and meet your people and things, right?
Yeah. Right. With that, you say Matthew. Next, please.
Matkoya, Ban Banyamian, Banya Shala.
Matkoya,
Ban Banyamian, Banya Shala. How about Shimei Shagrakatam? How about Shimei Shagrakatam?
Exodus chapter 39 and verse 40. Ata kwala aya akatazar ata aimadaya wa ata adaniya wa ata hamasa lasha ira katazara ata maya rayawa wayaf adathia wa ata kalya aibadath hamashakan la ahal mawaida ata bagadaya hasharad lasharah bakodash ata bagadaya hakodash la aran hakahan wa ata bagadaya banyawa lakahan. Verse 42. Kakal asha tazawa Yahweh ata masha kan aishawa banya yasha'ala ata kal aibada. Verse 43. Wayara masha ata kal hamashala aka wahana aishawa ata ka asha tazawa Yahweh kan aishawa wayabara ata selaki atam masha. Book of Genesis, Salakia, book of Exodus, chapter 40 and verse 1. Wayadaba Yahweh Masha la Amma Bayawam Ha Kadash Hara Asha 1 Ba'akad Wala Kadash Sakwayam Ata Mashakan Ahal Mawaida. Verse 3. Washamath Shama Ata Arawan Ai Wadaf Salakia Ha'aidawa Wasakaf Al Ha'aran Ata Haporakat. Yeah, from
Exodus chapter 39, the book of Exodus chapter 39 and verse 40. The hangings of the court, his pillars and his sockets, and the hanging for the court gate, his cords and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of the congregation, the cloths of the service, to do the service in the holy place, and the holy garments of Aaron the priest, and his sons' garments, to minister in the priest's office, according to all that the Lord commanded Moses to the children of Israel, made all the work. Verse 43. And Moses did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as the Lord had commanded. even so had they done it as Moses blessed them. The book of Exodus chapter 40 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, On the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil. Verse 4.
So like once more we've seen where again more work is being put into every single intricate detail. So nothing is being spared or nothing is being slacked. You know, everything is being done in a certain way. You understand? And when it was done, it had one man who had to what? Give the all clear, give the okay. So the men, the priests who were there, they did the work, they put all the stuff together, all the stuff for the tabernacle, all the clothes, all the curtains, everything that needs to be done, and then what? Moses had to what? Give the okay. Right? So it's no different how the structure is set up in the I.S.U.P.K under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. Yes, and he's the man leading the nation of Israel today. You have generals, captains, officers, troopers, you understand? Everybody serving, you need to bring the nation of Israel to a better place. You understand? And whatever needs to be done, he's the man to say, here what? This is how it should be done, this is the way it should be done, and that is just it. You understand? That is what it is. So like anything, anybody want to add anything?
Yeah.
That's what. So that we say, imagine. Chris?
Maria Ban Banyamyam Ban Yashala.
Maria Ban Banyamyan Ban Yashala. Abba Shem Yahushua Bakata.
Continue reading in the book of Exodus chapter 40 and verse Wahaba Ata Hashalakad wa Irakath Ata Irakawa Wahaba Ata Hama Nara Wahaila Laya Ata Narath Yaha. Verse 5. Wanata Saha Ata Mazabak Hazahab Laquatarath Lapanya Arawan Ha'ida Washamath Ata Masaka Salake Masak Hapathaka Lamashakan. Verse 6. Wanata Ata Masabak Ha'ailaha Lapanya Pasaka Mashakan Ahal Mawaida. Verse 7. Wanatata Ata Hakaya Banya Ahal Mawa Aida, Wabanya, Hamasabak, Wanatata, Sham, Mayam. Verse 8. Washamath, Atta, Hakataza, Sabayab, Wanatata, Atta, Masak, Sha'ira, Hakataza, verse 9. Walakwataka, Atta, Shaman, Hashaka, Wamashakath, Atta, Hamashakan, Wa'ata, Kal, Ashad, Bawa, Wakwadasha, Atawa, Wa'ata, Kal, Kalayawa, Wahaya, Kwadash, verse 10. Wamashaka, Ata, Mazabak, Ayalaha, Wa'ata, Kal, Kalayawa, Wakwadash, Ata, Amazabak, Wahaya, Amazabak, Kwadashia. And that's it. Starting from verse 4.
The book of Exodus 40 and verse 4. And thou shalt bring in the table and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it. And thou shalt bring in the candlestick and light the lamps thereof. And thou shalt set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the hanging of the door to the tabernacle. And thou shalt set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation. And thou shalt set the laver between the tent of the congregation, the altar, and shalt put water therein. And thou shalt set up the court round about, and hang up the hanging at the court gate. And thou shalt take the anointing oil and anoint the tabernacle and all that is therein, and shall hallow it and all the vessels thereof, and it shall be holy. And thou shalt anoint the altar of the burnt offering and all his vessels, and sanctify the altar, and it shall be an altar most holy.
Like again, once more again, we see here where again everything is being put in its place and being put in its order, right? From the way things are being set on the tables, right, to dress it up, to put it together, everything is being put into one, you know, in its proper place, in its proper order, right? Verse 4 says, and thou shalt bring the table and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it, and thou shalt bring a stick and light the lamps thereon. As you know, the candlestick that we're talking about, that would be the menorah. So they bring the menorah and set that on the table as well, right? And even as they going through, you would see they actually give instruction how to build, you know, that menorah and put it in place, right? Verse 5 says, and thou shalt set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the hanging of the door of the tabernacle. So you see, there's a lot of the different intricate things that are being put in place right, along with the Ark of the Covenant, to be able to set it with a look glorious. And that was what, all these instructions was, to bring it, to give it something that is separate from everything else. I don't know if you have anything else, Sasha.
Yeah, no, again, when we go and check certain things out, like out in our crowd, you always like the Most High always establish something higher, right? So when the Most High, like he said these things now, so now the priests and them now could be the ones delivering and thing, right? So now when you watch everything I say that way, like not on the same level, not like the same level where the people attending the conference. So now when you see something, it's really glorifying from you the people now taking it in from the priests and the prophets and the Most High and all to say same thing now and now we set the put everything in an order, and then after now the people are in an order, and then after the priests and them in a different order from everything setting apart from the Most High to the priests to the children of Israel and all, right?
Yeah, Most High Christ. And then we say Imagine. Priest.
Makakoban, ban banyaniam, banyashala.
Makakoban, Banyanyam, Banyashala.
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Brakatum.
Yahweh Hashem Yosef Rakata.
So we continue reading in the book of Exodus chapter 40 and verse 11. ومشكاف أبطار حكيارا وأبطار كناوة وقداشة وأبطار 12 وهكوراث سلكي وقرباث أبطار أهران وأبطار بنياوة فتكا Ahau, Mawaida, Waraka Tisatha, Atam, Bamayam, Westatin, Wahala, Bashaf, Ata, Aharan, Ata, Bagadaya, Akadash, Wamashakath, Atawa, Wakadash, Atawa, Wakan, Laya, is 14, Wa'atha, Banyawa, Thakora, Yab, Wahala, Bashaf, Atam, Katana, is 15, Wamashaka, Atam, Kaasha, Mashaka, Ata, Abayaham, Wakana, Wakana Nawa, Laya, Wahaya, Lahaya, Laham, Mashakatham, Lakatan, Lakahana, Iwalam, Ladaratha, with 16, Waya Aisha, Masha, Kakal, Asha, Tazawa, Yahweh, Atawa, Khan, Aisha, with 17, Wayahaya, Bakadash, Aquarashan, Aqua Shawan, Bashan, Ashanaya, Ba'akad, Lakadash, Hawakwam, Hamashakan. I think that's it.
Okay. The book of Exodus chapter 40 and verse 11. And thou shalt anoint the laver of his foot and sanctify it. And thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle congregation and wash them with water. And thou shalt put upon Aaron the holy garments and anoint him and sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt bring his sons and clothe them with coats, and thou shalt anoint them as thou didst anoint their father, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. For their anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus did Moses according to all the Most High commanded him, so did he. Verse 17. And it came to pass in the first month of the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up.
So like once more we see again all the intricate pieces being put together, right? And showing you where Aaron and his sons, were anointed, right? As he wants to be able to what? To be that middle ground. They were the ones, as the right hand from Moses. So Moses was, give the instructions, they would carry it out and really restore and put order in the nation of Israel. They were the one carrying out all the sacrifices in the altar, any hard decisions to be made, anything that needs to be done when they're having their councils. These were the men that, Moses would have the council with, along with other many nations of Israel. You understand? But these were the chief men that were there in place to help the nation of Israel function, right? And all these different parts, from the building of the tabernacle to the anointing of the priests to their garments, everything was specific for a purpose, to not just show the glory of the Most High, but to show also the authority and the power that the Most High had established upon the nation of Israel, not just for the men and the women in the nation of Israel, but for outside the nation of Israel, those our enemies, those who living around about. You understand? When they get to see it and how this is established, they would understand that this is not a normal thing. This is something I say whole, with some separate from everything else that is on the face of the earth. So I don't know if you want to add anything?
Yeah, and when you're checking Exodus chapter 40 and verse 13 and all, right, so all these people them feel like let's go and pick up a Bible and let's go and read and preach and tell people nonsense and thing, right? And then after now, when the real men and the prophets come now, everybody like the same man of preaching now. So now when the priest come and tell them, hey, or you need to come up from the pulpit and come and listen to who you see. And when you watch with the I.S.U.P.K, there's be telling people and things. So you ask yourself now, they be blasting all these Christian church, right? They blast all these Israelite school and tell them we're not affiliated with all these other things. So why are schools so boasty and things? Because why? They know the truth and they do everything according to the Bible. So why it is now other people don't come up and say, boy, let me come and contest them and really thing I say, hey, we have it here and thing like that. But up to the day, you'll never see that happening and thing. Everybody, the I.S.U.P.K or them feel is it and thing, right? But really until I come up and say, well, yeah, if it is so, well, I come up and be and prove yourself to the I.S.U.P.K, right? So when you check back all these things here and all, right? So one, no priest can just come up just and say that priest. But when you go into verse 13 and thou shalt put upon Aaron the holy garment and anoint him, right? So now he been anointed, but how it is now he going and go through all this thing, because there people before and all to that's like, again, so you can't just come just want to be a priest. You have to come through other people, and then after now again now when you're in the streets and all too, now you're going and think everybody have a different uniform. A policeman a uniform, a fireman a uniform, When you go and check all these doctor uniform and things. So when you watch your brother here and what you're seeing that's where you're seeing all the head garments and things. The way the like when we say like the symbol again now, so they say now the I.S.U.P.K we symbol it is the Sheila David now, these are the prophets and them are the most and thing and now we go watch and when they go in all these things like Timothy and Titus or how the men are going to be walking in that order and thing now say hey the men and them preaching more, you know what? They have a criteria to follow. So now they give any criteria to really see, hey, this is really the men should be following. They really lift up the word what the scriptures and the Bible saying and all too. So when you watch back all these things, these men following this, they get anointed. I know what? And the same way now men could come back the same way and the same procedure coming through, the same steps, right? Nothing in changing and thing, right? So they can't come there and say, hey, I want to go and preach the word anymore. So and just pick up a Bible and say, well, your diet and thing and I know and tell people, hey, you can eat this and that and or go and keep this feast there and go keep that feast or keep that feast there and keep our feast there, keep something at the whole and thing. Now, it's straight out what the scripture saying and how the I.S.U.P.K about following them instructions what the Most High laid down, right?
That we say, imagine. Next, please.
Makwaya, Ban Banyamian, Banya Shala.
Makwaya, Ban Banyamian, Banya Shala.
How about Shimei or Shibra Katum?
How about Shimei or Shibra Katum?
I will continue reading in the book of Exodus chapter 40. And verse 18. Wayakwam, Masha, Ata, Hashanakan, Wayatan, Ata, Adanawa, Wayasham, Ata, Parashewa, Wayatan, Ata, Maria Kiyawa, Wayakwam, Atham, I'm a Wadiya, I'm a Wa the Yawa, verse 19. Waya Parash Ata Ha'ahal Al Hamashakan Wayasham Ata Makasa Ha'ahal Ailayawa Malama Ailaha Ka'asha Azawa Yahawa Ata Masha. Verse 20. Wayakwa, Wayakwaka, Wayathan, Ata, Ha'ida, Al, Ha'aran, Wayasham, Ata, Habadayam, Al, Ha'aran, Wayatan, Ata, Hakapara, Al, Ha'aran, Malama Aida, Mala Ma'ailaha, verse 21. Wayaba, Ata, Ha'aran, La'a, Hashakan, Wayasham, Ata, Harakat, Hamasak, Wayasak, Al, Arawan, Ha'aida, Ka'ashab, Tazawah, Yahweh, Atta, Ashab. Verse 22. Wayathan, Atta, Ashalakhan, Ba'ahal, Mawa'ida, Ar, Yaraka, Hamashakam, Tazawapan, Makawataza, Laparaka, verse 23. Waya Iraq, Il Yawar, Iraka, Lakam, Lapanya, Yahweh, Ka'ashab, Tazawa, Yahweh, Atta, Mashah, verse 24. Wayasham, Ta, Hamanara, Ba'ahal, Mawa'ida, Nakaka, Hashalaka, Yaraka, Hamashakan, Nagaba.
Book of Exodus 40 and verse 18. And Moses reared up the tabernacle and fastened his sockets and set up the boards thereof and put in the bars thereof and reared up his pillars. And he spread abroad the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering of the tent above upon it. And the Lord commanded Moses, and he took and put the testimony into the ark and set the staves on the ark and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle and set up the veil of the covering and covered the ark of his testimony as the Lord commanded Moses. And he put the tabernacle in the tent of the congregation upon the side of the tabernacle northward without the veil. And he sat the bread in order upon it before the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he put the candlestick in the tent of the congregation over against the table on the side of the tabernacle southward.
So like we've seen once more again, this is where, you know, they're coming in with the finishing touches, if I would put it that way. You know, everything was up, the tabernacle was reared up, and now, you know, what we have the so-called Ark of the Covenant. This is where, you know, you put all the different implements into this Ark at this time. So this is where it had, I think was a bowl with manna, right? It had the staff that Moses had. I think it had the rod, Aaron's rod. I think the rod that was budding. I think that's something else. So last year, right? It had about 3 things, but these things that was in the Ark of the Covenant was really as a testimony, or I should say a witness, something that showed that this is what the Most High brought us from. Right. This was the thing that would show not just, you know, those who were there then, but only for those in the future as a remembrance. That would call it the testimony. The testimony is something that would show and give evidence of what was done. You understand? So this was what, you know, the Most High did and brought us from the land of Egypt and brought us to the stage where we were. And the evidence of all that was in the Ark of the Covenant at that time. And wherever we went, whether we had battle or wherever we were traveling, we would carry this Ark as a witness before the Most High to the children of Israel. So if you add anything of such,
That's as we say, you know, we are the place and then we go come and learn. And this way it is the I.S.U.P.K right now. This is where the tabernacle, this is where the covenant, this is the people the Most High get the deal, and the people the Most High get the deal and tell them, hey, this is my laws I want to keep right now. So this is where the I.S.U.P.K now, bringing it back to the people, and then people know, hey, I'm plain and simple, here the things that the Most High hate, and love the things the Most High hate, and we go get back with nation and rule back the youth and always seeing going around all over the world. That was stuff, right?
Most High incredible. And I bring the stick under the service, you see I medium. Sir?
Liar SHALAM to Israel.
Imagine when you put down with the right hand fist east, sir.
We're going to say Lord's Prayer here, group. Abanawa, Shemaya, Dash, Aya, Samka, Yahawa, Sabbath, I.S.U.P.K,
We don't say it in English. It's our Father, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. As it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom. Thine is the power. And the power. And the glory. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We're going to say Yahweh,
We say the power in English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahushua. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. All manner of disease. Power to cleanse the leper. Power to raise the dead. Power against unclean spirits. Cast them out. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to say, bless Israel, Yahweh, Hashem,
We just say now in English is Lord. The name of Yahushua. Bless us. And Israel. And the school. Bless. Heal. Protect our love. The name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to say Psalm 121. Ashaya, Ayanya, Alhayam, Ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Yahweh, Ashaya, Shamayam, Baratiza, Ayatan, Galka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yasharan, Shamarwa, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Zalka, Adiyai, Shamayanka, Shamayanka, Yamanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakauka, Wakal, Wayarak, Bala Yalya, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Wakarai, Yashama, Al-Nafsaka, Yahweh, Yashama, Kazalka, Wabaraka, Maita, Waid, I will.
We say now in English, I will lift up my eyes.
I will lift up my eyes
unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord.
My help cometh from the Lord.
Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel. Neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee. From all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out. And thy coming in. From this time forth. And even forevermore.
We will say Psalm 83. Alahayam, Almayalaka, Tashakwat, Wa'al, Tashakwat, Al-Kaya, Ana, Abu Hawa, Yaba, Haka, Yahamam, Yawan, Raish, Aimaka, Ra'aira, Yamawa, Sawada, Wayata, Aitazawa, Aitazawanka, Amawa, Lakawa, Waka, Aka Yadam, Magawa, Wala'a, Yazaka, Shamashala, Ayab, Nawa Tazawa, Laba, Yakawa, Ayaka, Bariat, Nakawatwa, Alahaya, Adawam, Waya Shamai, Alahayam, Mabahaba, Mahagariam, Bal, Wa'aymawan, Wa'aymalak, Pashalat, Sabaya, Tazawo, Gamashawo, Nalawat, Aimam, Hayawa, Nawawai, Lapanya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha Laham, Kamadian, Kasaya, Sarah, Kayabian, Manakal, Afshawan, Nashamadwa, Bayan Daiwa, Hayawa, Daman, Ladamwa, Shayatamwa, Nada, Yamawo, Kairab, Wakazabak, Wakazal, Nai, Kalnasar, Kaya, Amwa, Ashaya, Amawo, Kaya Rasha, Nanawo, At, Nawat, Alahayam, Alahaya, Chatamwa, Gangala, Akwash, La Panya, Wawak, Kaish, Tabaira, Wakal, Lahabadwa, Palahat, Hayaram, Kan Tadabma, Basaraika, Basa, Wapatka, Tabahalam, Mala Panyaham, Palawan, Waya, Kwashwa, Samka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya, Bahalwa, Idai, Waya, Karapalwa, Waya, Abadwa, Waya, Adaiwa, Kaya, Ata, Samka, Yahawa, Abadka, Ayawan, Ayaka, Ratata.
But we're not saying it in the English. Is keep not as silent, O God.
Keep not as silent, O God.
And hold not thy peace.
And hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
And be not still, O God.
For lo,
the
the enemies make it tomorrow.
And
they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden one. They have said, come and let us cut them off. From being a nation. And the name of Israel. No more remembrance. For they are consulted together. One consent. They are confederate against the tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. The Baal. Amalek. And the Philistines. The inhabitants of Tyre. So also join with them. They are Holpert. Children of Lot. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. Sisera. Jabin. And the broke of his son. The spirit shall end. It came as done for the earth. Make their noble. Like Horeb. Like Zeb. Yea. All their princes. As the Bar. And Zaluna. Who said, let us take to ourselves. Houses of God in possession. Oh my God. Make them like a weed. And the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. As the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. Make them afraid. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may see thy name. O Lord. Let them be confounded. Troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. And perish. That men may know. That thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, and the Most High, over all the earth. Sir? When up Israel, let's give one criticism salute. I imagine Shabbat, I imagine the rock.
Yahweh Shem Shai Bakata.
Smith.